South Carolina Highway Patrol has arrested a man connected, they say, to a deadly hit and run. The crash happened last Thursday, Highway 176 and Old Furnace Road in Spartanburg County. The recorder says a cyclist, Elvis Strachan, was hit and killed. He was 51. Troopers say they've charged Ricardo Perez Jr. with hit and run resulting in death. They say the incident remains under investigation. South Carolina Attorney General's office says a Greenwood County man is charged with sexually exploiting minors. Investigators say an online tip led them to 77-year-old Russell Waters. He's accused of having files of child sexual abuse material. Waters was arrested, charged with 4 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Tonight, a man in Yancey County is accused of killing his father, according to deputies there. The sheriff's office responded to an incident in the Ferguson Hill area. Not a lot of details available, but deputies say 21-year-old John Charlton is charged with the murder of his father, Virgil Charlton. Charlton's now being held in the Yancey County Detention Center. He's been denied bond.
We want to start things off with breaking news in Anderson County, where investigators tell 7 News a daycare worker has been arrested for abusing a baby. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office says the baby returned home from daycare with scratches and bruises. Detectives say they first began an investigation back in June, then executed a search warrant at the daycare facility and found evidence, surveillance footage aligning with the child's injuries. Daycare worker 21-year-old Cameron Olivia Bomar has been charged with cruelty to children in connection with this investigation. Bomar is currently out on bond.
A judge has ordered State Senator Josh Kimbrell to cut ties with a private aircraft charter company.
It is part of a lawsuit against the state senator who represents Spartanburg County, filed by a former business partner. Yesterday, a judge signed the order requiring Kimbrell, to his wife and former bank, to surrender all ownership and assets with Exodus Aircraft. That includes giving up a jet, bank accounts, company credit cards, and business records to the company. This is the most recent development in the lawsuit, accusing Kimbrell of stealing more than $2 million from his business partner. We've reached out to Kimbrell for comment and have not yet heard back.
Breaking news update tonight. We are learning more about the collapsed bridge in Pickens County.
Crews shut down the bridge, of course, on Crow Creek Road yesterday afternoon. Our Julia Keener spoke with emergency management about what that means for your safety.
This bridge, now left with a gaping hole, is not only an inconvenience for drivers, but adds some extra steps for first responders. Dirt and water barricades block a once busy bridge as crews continue to investigate the collapse. Built in 1968, the bridge on Crow Street was already scheduled for replacement because of its age and design, according to SCDOT. However, Billy Gibson with Emergency Management says it was being used as a detour as crews worked on Highway 183.
Now our detour through the detour is shut down, so that's going to increase that secondary traffic even more.
Gibson tells us immediately after the collapse, he and his team began mapping alternate emergency response routes.
As soon as we found out about this yesterday, within a half hour, we had already made our route changes and our response model changes with our surrounding fire departments, our EMS stations, as well as our dispatch center.
He says while the local fire departments will see some impact, hopefully the public won't.
It kind of throws us off just a little bit because we have, in our minds, we have preconceived routes for everywhere that we go, and so we have to kind of think just a little bit differently. The good thing is having tools such as the computer-aided dispatch helps with that.
Luckily, he says, in this area there are multiple fire departments located closely together, which should minimize any increase to response times.
We're already working around the detour on 183, and we'll continue to work around this one as well to make sure we're able to provide the quickest and most efficient service to our folks.
All emergency management asks is drivers are patient and use extra caution on these secondary roads. SCDOT says the timeline to fix the bridge is now accelerated, but warns construction could still last months. In Pickens County, Julia Keener, 7 News.
The DOT does have detours in place. We've got them all listed at WSPA.com.
Month marks 3 years since the National Suicide and Crisis Line switched to the easier to remember triple digits. We're talking about 988. 7 News reporter Caroline Yaffa tells you how the states tried to save lives through call centers.
When 988 launched, South Carolina had just one call center, but now there's two, and response rates have hit an all-time high. The 988 call line provides free 24/7 support for people experiencing mental health, substance use, or suicidal crises.
It's a type of resource that is also working on trying to help people get connected to care so that maybe they can have some long-term help.
According to the Office of Mental Health, in July of 2022, there was only one 988 call center in the state. That month, staff answered over 2,600 calls with an answer rate of 75%. Jessica Barnes with the Office of Mental Health tells me just last month, the state answered a record of 4,409 calls with a response rate above 90%.
If you are in that crisis, there are trained people who want to help, and they're trained crisis responders over the phone that are there to be a listening ear and offer some guidance.
She says it's crucial that South Carolinians who call have South Carolinians answer.
We know more of those details about the specific resources in South Carolina. We can really help guide somebody to taking another step to working on themselves for what they want.
It's important so that you can get people the help right at where they need it. And I think that's the key thing. The people in the call centers know where help is available.
But Barnes says there's still things they can do to increase the response rate in the coming years.
You can chat or text 988, and so we would really like to work on expanding our outreach for those efforts as well and hiring workforce specific to those two modes of contact.
Barnes says 988 is for anyone who needs help, whether you're an adult or a child. When you call in, you can be completely anonymous and it's confidential. In Columbia, Caroline Yaffa, 7 News.
And Barnes says if you or your loved one needs some help, don't hesitate to reach out to 988. Meantime, Prisma Health has announced a $350 million expansion to one of the upstate medical campuses. 7 News reporter Scarlett Lizjak explains how this will meet a growing community's needs.
Greer Memorial Hospital is about to get a lot bigger.
We are planning a significant expansion to the campus that will really fundamentally change our scope of service and our ability to provide care to the community.
The hospital CEO Todd Walker says the medical campus is expanding in 2 directions. By expanding the existing hospital's footprint with 2 large additions, and with the brand new medical park built directly across the street from the hospital's main entrance, adding more than 200,000 square feet combined.
This is all existing right here as it looks today. And this is what it'll look like. So this is new. This is the new inpatient space. This is new emergency department space with the medical office building across the street.
We're told the project is Prisma Health's largest investment in expanding an upstate medical campus in nearly 20 years. Walker says the project will more than double patient beds and significantly expand outpatient care, fulfilling a need in a rapidly growing community.
From a volume standpoint, just over the last 5 years, we've seen double-digit growth in visits to our emergency room. We've seen double-digit growth in surgery, outpatient testing. Our inpatient volume has almost doubled in that time frame, and so it's certainly time to grow along with the community.
Walker says the existing hospital was built in a craftsman style in 2008, and the new facility will keep that same charm.
We have just really wonderful and unique architecture on the Greer campus, and so we've had a lot of conversations about how do we continue that and also make sure that we've got a design that is modern and promotes healing. And so I think on the exterior of the building, you will see that architecture.
Preparation of the site for construction will start in the fall. Reporting in Greer, Scarlett Lizjak, 7 News.
We are told once the entire expansion is complete and fully operational, the new facilities will add roughly 500 new jobs.